When I was 15, my grandmother wanted me to become a ticket checker for the Indian Railways. When I was 17, my mother wanted me to become a doctor. When I was 20 and I had just finished my graduation, my father wanted me to become a defense officer. And that is what I finally became. It is only in the year 2006, when I was 38 years old, that I realized what I wanted to become. And I wanted to become a storyteller. Since then, there have been lots of ups and downs in my life, lots of twists and turns, but it has been a very exciting journey so far. More on this later. Today, I want to share 3 stories from my life with the hope that they bring some benefit to you and you understand the power of self-belief, the power of self, the power of you. The first story is from Naval Officers Academy. The year was 1991. I was an officer cadet there, and towards the end of our training, there was a competition. In this competition, all of us were divided in small batches, and we were taken to a camp. In this camp, despite our best efforts, the team that I was in, that team came at the bottom of the ranking. So we performed very, very poorly. And this was really something that we were not expecting because we had worked very hard. So one of my colleagues, he came to me and said, "This is not fair. We should have been there right at the top." So I told him, and I was actually probably thinking aloud because I did not remember this for a long time after that. I said, "Look, we might have lost this competition, but we've learned so much from here. And when we fight the real battles beyond the limits of the academy, we will definitely be the winners." Now, I was not knowing that my divisional officer was at that time, somewhere standing behind me, and he had heard this statement of mine. Now, one day before passing out from the Naval Officers Academy, the divisional officer was calling all the officer cadets one by one and giving them debrief about their training performance. When my turn came, he said, "Kulpreet, I'm giving you one of the highest marks in officer-like qualities." And he narrated this incident. He said, "Even in the face of failure, you had so much of belief in what you have learned that you were confident, and you were telling your colleague who had failed with you that he should also feel confident that you will be able to translate this failure into success in times to come." That was perhaps my first validation at the power of self, even in the face of failure. So with me, I passed out of the academy and continued in my life. But somewhere this particular lesson went in the back of my mind. Now let's fast forward into 2006. Now 2006, I met one of my friends. I was posted in a small little town in West Bengal, and I was one day chatting with a friend, and I said, "I want to become a writer." And he said, "Are you out of your mind? You are already doing so well in your organization. You've got a great career ahead of you. You are commanding a unit here. You've got a small, beautiful family. Why would you like to give up this 15 years of your life and get into something new and start from scratch? It doesn't make sense at all." And I thought to myself, no, this is my calling and this is who I am, and I want to become a storyteller. So I wrote my first book in 2006. I was very excited when it came out to the market, but tragically, the book failed in the sense that we could not sell even the bare minimum number of copies. It was a very bitter experience for me. But taking that failure in my stride, I wrote my second book to launch myself in the career of a writer. My second book was not accepted by anybody. That means nobody published it. It remained just in my computer. So not getting dejected once again by this, I wrote my third book. Once again, nobody accepted this book, and this remained in my computer. Now, this was the time when I asked myself, are those people who are saying that I should stick to my career, are they right? Or am I right in thinking that I can become a writer? And I had my first doubt in my mind that maybe I'm not cut out for this and I really should not pursue this anymore. I spent some time alone, had a conversation with myself, and realized, no, I need to go ahead because this is what I want to do and this is what I can do really, really well. I approached a lot of senior writers. I got in touch with professors and journalists and read browsed a lot of websites and read articles and realized that to write a good novel, you should first write good short stories. So I spent the next 3 years only writing short stories. Must have written about 100 plus short stories. And these short stories were beautiful. I fell in love with my own writing. The characters were nice. When they were laughing, I could laugh. When they were crying, I could cry. And I thought these are great stories. But tell you what, I sent the stories to major magazines all over the world. And you know what happened? Every single story that I had written failed. Nobody accepted my stories. Nobody was interested to read my stories. And all my effort of 3 years has gone to waste. This was again the second time, or rather the third time, that I had this doubt that should I really continue with this, or should I forget about becoming a writer? Once again, the inner voice, the power of self, said, no, you can and you should become a writer. Long story short, I continued with my experiments with writing, and today I'm speaking to you. Here I am with 14 books to my credit, and the last few books have been published by top global publishers. And along the way, people have been kind, and I've also received awards. So it has taken me 14 years to get where I have got, but I am satisfied that I believed that I can be a writer. The world believed that I cannot be a writer, and I could achieve my goal of becoming a writer. Of course, there's a long journey ahead of me. I have to write more books. 2 books are going to come out in 2021. I've got plans for several other books in the future. That brings me to the third story. In the year 2018, I thought that less and less number of people are reading books. And why should I not transition from being a storyteller in the form of words to storyteller on screen? Why not write screenplays for web series, for films, for TV series, etc.? And with that in mind, I wrote several screenplays. I started writing in 2018 beginning and sent it to big production houses in Bombay and abroad. And once again, just like my writing experience, everything failed. Nobody accepted what I was writing. It is only last year, in the month of December, that based on my script, we were able to make 3 short films. I was part of this filmmaking process, and it was a very, very interesting and useful experience for me. But once again, the critics are not really that excited with these films, though I and the makers of these films, we feel that these are great stories and they've been told in the best possible way. But there has been a lukewarm response, I'll be very honest with you, with these 3 short films which we made with so much of passion. Does this mean that I'm going to stop my plans to become a successful screenplay writer? No. I'm going to keep trying till the time I succeed. Because I believe in the core of my heart that I can become a very good storyteller for screen as well, just like my books. Now, this brings me to the conclusion of my talk. And the conclusion is this. People will say lots of things to you. People will say you should do this, you should do that, you're good at this, you're not good at this, etc. But the only person who knows you is you yourself. You know who you are, you know what you're made up of, you know what excites you, you know what scares you, you know what you want to, what are your dreams, you know your strengths, you really know your weaknesses, you know everything about yourselves. So my biggest takeaway from this talk is this. Try to spend time with yourselves. Try to travel alone. Try to be alone sometimes. Try to write your thoughts down. Try to talk to yourself. And try to understand who you really are and what you want to do with your life. And when you get that answer, you start pursuing that. What will happen with you? The same thing that happened with me. You will fail at every step. 1 failure, 2 failure, 3 failure. You'll keep on failing. But you must take all those failures in your stride and keep on trying till you succeed. Because you will. You are unique. You are original. You are the only one of your kind. And not anybody in the world should tell you what you should do. The only person who will tell you what you should do is you yourselves. Thank you very much.